And the concept is, have you ever gotten off the phone with somebody who loved you and you felt worse? Or you've had conversations with people who love you and you've felt worse? I wanted to get to the bottom of that. I said, this doesn't make any sense. There's got to be a solution. And I think I might have found it. All right? So when I talk about energy here, I'm not talking about magic, nothing supernatural. If someone walks into the room with their head held high, smiling, you would say their energy level's up. If they slink into a corner and don't want to talk to anybody, you'd say their energy level's down. That's all I'm talking about. All right? But many cultures around the world have this similar concept: ki, chi, prana, animus in Rome. All right? So it's existed in many cultures, this concept. This is an arbitrary scale, which means I made it up. All right? If you are at 200, you are enlightened. Congratulations, you've won life. Knock yourselves out. All right? If you are at 100, you are what's known as operational. That means you're just getting by. You've got just enough. No surplus, no deficit. If you're at 0, you kind of commit suicide. All right? Your tank is empty. Got nothing left to give. So maybe chart where you are over the course of a day, over a week, over a lifetime. All right? It's going to fluctuate. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. Everything that you do takes a little bit of this stuff. Okay? If you want to listen to somebody, you have to do something. Right? If you want to be open-minded, you have to do something. Right? You have to see their point of view. That's not free. All right? You'll notice that all the good things that we do will tend to be people that are, or will come from people that are above 100 for the most part. Okay? This is a surplus. This is a deficit. You don't have enough. So people that are below 100 on the regular will tend to be takers. Anyone know anyone like that? Okay, it's a couple hands. They will be users, closed-minded. Just think about it. To see someone's point of view, you've got to, again, do something. If you do not even have enough to get by, you don't have the energy to listen to their point of view or see their point of view. That takes a little bit of stuff. Racists. Okay? Racists, there are no happy, healthy racists. All right? No one's like, life's great. Man, I feel so super today. Those people suck. That doesn't happen. All right? Racists are inherently grumpy people, which is why they're racist. Okay? So, how do you gain and how do you lose this stuff? This is the big question. For human beings, because we're social animals, the number one way that we gain or lose this stuff is through human interaction. And there are 4 outcomes. And they are called plus plus, plus minus, minus plus, minus minus. All right, you could call this deficit here stress if you'd like. All right, someone's stressed. They're below 100. I'm sure we've all been there. There's another type of energy I'd like to explain to you right now, and it's called junk food. Junk food energy has 2 properties. One, it will shoot you up and you will crash. Okay? So the best example of a junk food energy is drugs. All right? Drugs shoot you up. They make you feel awesome. That's why people do drugs. We know this, but then you crash. Okay? Also, you cannot trade your good feelings on drugs. Right? No one cares if you're on heroin. All right? You cannot spread the love while on heroin. There is no love to be spread because it's junk food to begin with. Another great example would be shopping. Anybody shop when they're stressed? Yeah. Then you get the bill. And you're like, God damn. Right? Hot fudge sundaes could be an example. All right? You're like, oh my God, this feels great. Then you crash. All right? And no one cares that you had a hot fudge sundae. You cannot trade hot fudge sundae love. All right? It doesn't move between people. So that's why it's a junk food energy. Let's move on. So, by the way, I've done the good, the bad, and ugly in all this, except for the heroin. I've not done the heroin. Right? This is not about blame, okay? This is about understanding. Blame's not going to do us any good in this arena, but understanding will. All right? So if this hits close to home, know that I've been the bad guy in a lot of these scenarios too. Plus is an outcome where I like you. Thank you. I like you too. This is called a healthy relationship. If you have one of these, stick to it like glue. Okay, that's good. You've won. That's a good one. Let's get to some of the more common ones, perhaps. Right? First one is an active. It is called bully victim. Okay? Now, we've all been the bully. What do you do when someone cuts you off on the highway? That'd be your first step, scream. Well, then what? You could cut them off. Flip them off, thank you very much, Will. Yes, you flip them off. Who has not flipped off? So the rest of you are lying, right? Yes. But what happens if they don't see you flip them off? You make them see you flip you off, right? Because you want this to happen. You want them to make that face, right? If they don't, this did not work. You wanted them to feel bad, which is, now why? Because they cut you off, and you felt bad. And you want that back. They took your energy by cutting you off. They're going to get your finger, and they better make a bad face. All right? This is why it's called energy, because you're going to see how it transfers from person to person to person. So the bully will say something or do something, and the victim will feel bad. All right? Common ones would be like, you're dumb. You're stupid. You never do anything right. Pick your bully phrase. Then the victim reacts and feels bad about it. And the bully got their little junk food energy kick. Okay? Now, it's not about that the bully's bad here and the victim's good. This is not what I'm talking about. The victim can become just a part of this relationship as the bully can. Okay? Have you ever heard, oh, how come I always date jerks and I never meet nice people? Something along those lines. Yeah. Well, because when people do say or say nice things to them, it feels uncomfortable. They're more comfortable being in this type of relationship where they're constantly giving away a little bit of their energy. All right? That feels good to them in a comfortable sort of way, believe it or not. So they're both participating in this. But bullies will look for victims, and victims will look for bullies because it's what they know and it's what's comfortable. And you'll see that in a second. Now, here's a myth. The myth is that the way to beat a bully is to stand up to them. And that's not exactly true, okay? Because by standing up, you are giving credence to their bully attempt. So when someone says, you're dumb, you say, no, I'm not. Okay? You just stood up and you gave them exactly what they wanted, an emotional reaction. By standing up and combating them, they got to you. Game over. All right? The way to actually beat a bully is indifference, is not giving them any emotional reaction. They will move on eventually. You're stupid. Who isn't? You never do anything right. Well, I try. You know, it's the best we can do. That relationship's not going to last because the bully's not getting their kick. They're going to move on and find somebody that they can get an emotional reaction from. So to say standing up to a bully is the way to do it is not exactly right. Not caring is how to actually defeat a bully. So this one should be this one's pretty clear. All right, it's easy to understand, the bully victim one, right? Let's move on to a little more complicated one that may also sound familiar. And this one is a passive relationship. And the victim is now on this side. And over here, this comes in many colors. We have passive aggressive, worry, guilt, poor me, and jumping through hoops, which is a very colorful one. All right. So, whereas the bully-victim dynamic is an active one, I'm taking it from you. The passive-aggressive one is going to trick you into giving it to me. Who's nice? Are you nice? Thank you for your honesty. Can someone please pretend to be nice? Cody. You know, this shirt doesn't really fit me good. I don't think it looks good on me.
It looks great on you.
Thanks. You know,
Tell yourself that.
I think I'm never going to meet the right person.
She's out there for you. Don't
Thanks, Cody. Thanks, buddy. Things never work out for me.
You just have to believe in yourself. Don't worry about
Thanks, man. Yes. Okay. Why can't you do that? You could have done that? That was so easy. All right. So whereas the bully victim, I'm taking it from you. Passive aggressive, I'm going to trick you into giving it to me. All right? I'm laying a snare, you're walking into it, and I'm like, yoink. All right? That's why it can be a little more colorful. Now, if something really goes bad in your life, your dog dies, etc., a good friend will let you get that off their chest. They will give you pluses that you are now lacking because you lost your beloved pet. Okay? That's not passive aggressive. That's a healthy relationship. Okay? Healthy relationship is not necessarily all pluses. Okay? You can vent when you need to vent. All right? But if it's a chronic poor me, where things never work out and things are always going wrong and I'm always having to tell you things are all right, you might be more in this territory. Okay? Well, that's why these relationships last, is because sometimes they'll have the appearance of drifting up into positive territory. These relationships can last a lifetime. Okay? 30 years, 60 years, you can be in one of these relationships. They'll have the appearance of going to plus. All right? So let's go back to some more passive ones. Guilt. What possible function does guilt serve than to make the other person feel a little bit better when they remind you of your past indiscretion? Do you remember that thing you did 5 years ago that sucked? Yeah, I do. Why? Oh, I just wanted to make sure you remembered that. Thanks. Thanks for that. Thanks for that reminder. Right? That's what guilt does. It is kind of the gift that can keep on giving to the passive-aggressive person. You mess up once, they can remind you forever and continuously make you feel bad for whatever you had done. Okay? Worry. Now, there's a thing called genuine concern, and then there's worry. Okay? Genuine concern, like, yes, be safe. You're going to a dangerous situation, or you should get a screening, or something. Worry is more along the lines of every single day something's going to go wrong. Does anybody know anybody like this? And then you've got to respond to the perhaps nonsensical worry. They're tricking you into making you feel better. Or excuse me, they're tricking you into making themselves feel better. Follow? Okay. Jumping through hoops. Has anybody ever been to the DMV? They are experts at making you jump through hoops. Okay? There's been a couple secretaries on campus who have put me through the ringer when they had the form right next to them. Then they could have solved the problem immediately. Okay, but they want to see you squirm. You know, you go to the DMV and, I'm here to get my license. Well, did you go online? Yeah, I went online, but I couldn't, because you can go online. Yeah, I know I can go online. All right, because you need to fill out this form. Yeah, I need to know it. And then as soon as you get mad, they'll have the form, like, oh, here you are. You're like, God, you could have done that in the, right? You guys familiar with some of these dynamics? All too familiar? Okay. Well, the last one is minus minus. Okay, and this is, I hate you. I hate you too. These relationships don't last long because they don't have any benefit to anybody. These are people that you do not like immediately and they do not like you. All right? They do not last because they do not ever venture into positive territory, junk food or otherwise. Okay? All right. So, how do we get pluses if we do not know anybody that's cool? All right? There are a couple ways. The number one way is puppies. Right? Puppies are little plus plus machines. They see a human and it's like, you know, they won the lottery times 1,000. Like, holy hell, human. Right? They don't understand why we don't plus plus with them like constantly. Like, look at me, touch me, huh? Let me lick you. Oh my God, you're touching me, look at me again. Woo! Puppies are definitely born at 200, okay? And they use them as therapy dogs. They don't care how sick a human is. They don't care, you know, race, creed, religion a human is. If a human's looking at them, you know, that's Christmas. Hey! All right, so puppies are the easiest, clearest example of a plus-plus relationship. Easiest way. Does anyone not pick up a puppy and feel better? I mean, really? Well, oh, by the way, with regard to other pets, I mean, I used to have pets here, but I don't know how many pluses a goldfish can give you, or a tarantula, you know, like puppies. Let's just stick with puppies. Babies. Babies are also born at 200, and if you need proof, just jiggle keys. And they're like, holy keys, right? Being a parent is extremely stressful. It takes a lot of energy to be a parent. You get drained, okay, with the changings and the cryings and the lack of sleep, all types of things. But you get the pluses back. All they got to do is look at you, or grab your finger, or stare into your eyes, and your pluses come rushing right back. Right? That's how you can sustain yourself as a parent of a newborn. Okay? Now, it's interesting though, sometimes babies can't give back. And there can be a variety of conditions where it's more difficult for them to give a parent pluses. Those parents will be particularly stressed and will perhaps have to find pluses in other areas. And that can be very unfortunate, okay? Because it is so stressful to be a parent that you need the pluses back from your kids. And unfortunately, that can't always happen. Perhaps you know like some conditions that I'm talking about where they cannot make you feel better. Those parents need extra help and support, okay? Nature. Okay, I don't know about your rocks out here in Arizona, but in a lot of places, nature is green and has like babbling brooks and, you know, ocean. Ocean is my number one example for nature. If I go into the ocean, I come out, I'm done. I feel plus to the max. That's my best, easiest way to interact with nature. Is when I come out of the ocean, I just feel charged. I don't know how else to explain it. But when you first go out into nature, you may be like, how do I swipe? Okay, where's the start button? Okay? Interacting with nature can take some practice. All right? It can take a couple attempts. But once you get good at it, nature can be a continual reservoir of positive energy if you know how to do it. All right? So nature's good. The next one I'll say is called positive goal achievement. All right, now this word positive is subjective. All right, so you're going to have to bear with me on this one. But when you say clean your room, do the dishes, finish that paper, get that degree, you can give yourself a plus, and you feel better. The last and the best is something called the internal spring. I do not know how to get the internal spring, but I've heard of ways, okay? Christians would say, know that Jesus loves you and died for your sins. Okay? Muslims would say, know that Allah is the one true God and Muhammad is his prophet. Buddhists would say, know the Four Noble Truths. Taoists would say, know the difference between wants and needs and, separate the two. Okay, there's all types of ways to get this internal spring within you. Figure it out for yourself and report back, because I don't know. All right, but apparently they all report a similar feeling. Okay, it's called the internal spring. Following? Anyone got one? These are normal, just happy people. Okay, right. So, how does this affect us as humans? This would be the next question. All right. Perhaps some of you have seen this representation of humans in psychology class, perhaps where they have the inner you and the outer you. Right? Okay. This is a healthy person. Okay. The inner you is a constant. The outer you changes and fluctuates based on your day-to-day experiences or whatever. All right. So, we're going to represent this healthy person with a healthy flower. Pretty good, huh? All right. So, this person got the pluses they needed, just like this flower got the rain, sun, and good soil. All right? Everything good so far on this. Let's draw a sad flower. Wow. Okay. If this sad flower happened, okay, for instance, you would not say, what's wrong with you, you dumb flower? Why are you not a good flower? Whatever happened to this flower to make it like not so hot happened in its past. Okay, someone stepped on it, didn't get water, someone pissed on it, I don't know. But the flower ain't so good right now. People work the same way. Okay? So if you take a child, and we're going to represent it by a smaller thing, okay? Kids are very resilient. Their water, sun, and rain is basically pluses, okay? So if you tell a kid, take it, bully them, or passive aggressive, and they lose a little bit of energy, you'll put a chink in their outer, okay? But kids are resilient. They'll bounce right back. Okay? Boom. Give them 5 minutes in a, what are those little pouches? Capri Sun.
Give them a Capri Sun.
Yeah, and they're like, okay. All right. The problem comes when you kick them when they're down. All right. So you take some of their energy from them through one of those maneuvers, and you get down to the core. All right. Now you do it again. And you're going to take a chink right there. Ouch. Now what happens when they bounce back, and kids bounce back, is there's going to be let me fill this in a little better. There's going to be a divot where you took it out of them. Has anyone ever been to Walmart? Shut the F up, you little stop effing cursing. Have you ever heard a parent talk to their kid that way? boom, don't hit. I've seen that one too. Okay. Let's represent this person here. This person had a rough life. Okay? They got a lot of pluses taken from them and not a lot given. All right? So, when you have these gaps, like let's say for this gap is a symptom. Maybe that symptom is, let's call this one anger. All right? Now they may say, I want to fix my anger. I don't want to have anger. And they'll try to fill in this gap. I will never be angry again. Okay. But that was just the symptom because the cause is still there. So guess what's going to happen? It's going to manifest itself somewhere else. All right? So they might have rid themselves of anger, but now they've got self-image body anxiety or something along those lines. Okay? Or something else. These are just symptoms. If you actually want to solve this problem, you got to do it like a cavity. You've got to drill down, so to speak, to the root cause. And this can be extremely painful. Okay, because you've just given up your shield, first of all. And now you're at this very sensitive point. And what you've got to do, and this can take years, is fill it in with the pluses that you did not get. Cha-ching. So then when it grows back, both cause and symptom resolved. And that can take years and be extremely painful. But that's basically the only way to fix this problem. How would you describe, or what word would you describe a family that had a net negative? What phrase would you use to describe a family that had a net deficit? Dysfunctional. What type of symptoms would you expect in a net operational family? Fighting? Anger? Yes. Okay, lots of hostile words thrown around, lack of support, all of these types of things. What type of symptoms would you expect in a society with a below operational? Violence? Crime? Drug addiction? Incarceration rates through the roof? Sound like anywhere? Don't think too hard. Compton? Well, Canada has more gun owners per capita than we do. Okay, they also have the same video games. We have more guns. They have more gun owners. Yeah, we have way more guns. USA. But they have more gun owners per capita. They also have the same movies we watch. They play the same violent video games. They listen to the same violent, quote-unquote, music. But they don't seem to kill each other anywhere near the rate that we kill each other. Okay? Why? Well, I argue that we have a net below operational. We're in a deficit as a society. Okay? We don't even have enough energy to get by. So that will cause these social symptoms, such as violence, incarceration rate, out of control drug use. All right? So the next question should be, where did our energy go? Where are our pluses? How come we have a net negative? Well, the answer is because we waste them on things that can't possibly give back. Okay? We piss our pluses down the drain. For instance, if I get this new 2016 model car, I will be so happy. It will make me feel so good. Until the commercials for the 2017 model come out. Then your 2016 looks like a piece of junk. Right? We spend our time wanting that 72-inch television, and then they come out with the 74. And there's always the promise that this is the product, this is the shirt, this is the purse that will make you feel awesome. And it can't, because it's an inanimate object. It cannot give you a plus. It doesn't work that way, right? So we waste ours on things that can't possibly give back. Okay, so remember, this is not about blame. Blame does not do us any good. This is about understanding, okay? If you are in one of these relationships, okay, first step is to notice it, all right? And you're gonna recognize it, and it may take a while. For instance, like let's say you are in a bully victim one. Someone says, oh, you're stupid, and you say, I try not to be. Oh, Smarty Pants is going to school, learning things. And then they'll take it to the next level until they get you emotionally upset, right? You're going to mess up is my point. They're going to get you. And the longer you've been in a relationship, the more they know how to push your buttons, right? To get you upset. So you're going to mess up. You may mess up 50 times, but you're going to get a little bit better at it each time to recognizing when did you get emotionally upset about it, all right? You don't owe anybody your pluses. Those are yours. Those are yours to do with what you have fit. Your energy is yours. Now, if someone's given you in the past, are you obliged to reciprocate? Well, if you want a healthy relationship, okay? But you don't owe them to anybody. They're yours. If you give them to the right people and do not waste yours, our world will have more pluses. And then we can do like a pay it forward thing. They'll go to the next person. And maybe that person at the DMV will be happier. And then my experience will be better, and I'll have more pluses, and I'll get to give them on to somebody else. And if everything goes right, we can make our society better. One plus at a time.